So, epilepsy is not a disorder to be taken lightly by any means whatsoever. It destroys babies' lives, it destroys children's lives, adults' lives, and ultimately, altogether, the family's life of the person affected by epilepsy. I can speak from personal experience because my youngest cousin, Peyton, was diagnosed when she was 3 months old, and that changed my family ultimately for the better because we love her so dearly, but it changed it completely. We don't do everything that we did before she was born. We don't, just go hang out somewhere, go get dinner, or just anything, spontaneously. We have to plan. We have to have practically a time schedule so that we have the perfect timing for her medication because we cannot miss that, and her feedings because going without those can cause her epilepsy to, malfunction. So, what epilepsy does is it attacks the most important factor of a person's body, their brain, what the motor is, basically. It tells your body what to do. Like right now, my neurons are firing back and forth, telling me how I'm supposed to be talking to you guys right now. And with epilepsy, that doesn't just happen. This thing that's going on automatically in my brain would not be happening if I had epilepsy. Like with Peyton, she can't walk, talk, do anything normal pretty much. She can cry and cough and throw up and do all those kinds of sorts of things, but she can't do anything past what a 1-month-old baby could do, and she's 7 years old as of last October, actually. So really, it only makes sense that epilepsy would, be something people would be passionate towards. It's not a good thing at all. It does nothing positive. It is a horrible disorder, such as any other would be, but it goes so under the radar. People, before my cousin was diagnosed with this, I didn't even know what it was. Like, I had no idea about it. And now that I'm personally connected towards it, I stay completely active in the field of epilepsy with, family members or other people's families that are also suffering from this. I want to help as much as I can. But altogether, we're simply a big group of people who just have a passion for getting this solved. We want to know what it is and why it happens. So, from all gathered information that I could get, I learned that there wasn't a specific definition for what epilepsy was. If anybody Googled it, it just tells you really that it's when the brain malfunctions in general, just a malfunction in the brain. The neurons aren't firing. It's like a New World definition was and it's an electrical problem in the brain. So like neurons and such as that, they aren't working properly, and so parts of the brain aren't communicating together or communicating at all. They're just not working, period. So it's like it affects every part of the body when it's in the brain. Like if my finger had a problem, that wouldn't affect my toe. But if my brain has a problem, that affects everything in my body, everything. So with some more research, I found a study done on the TSC1 gene in a body. So it is connected to a type of epilepsy called polymorphism, which Peyton doesn't have, but there's millions of kinds of epilepsy. There's really no way to, characterize it specifically. Everybody's is different. Everyone's is different. That's why they have such a problem with getting a specific cure for one person, because mine is completely different from each and every one else's. Like, there's no similarities really at all, except for like possibly what type of the brain it occurs in, because there's only, so many parts of the brain. But this type of epilepsy occurs in one certain gene passed on from the parents into the child. And the people that have it, like epilepsy, the gene doesn't come through the chromosomes. Like, the parents will have the gene, but the child who has epilepsy will not. And they don't even know why, but they do know now that that's a thing, so they can look for that in children and further their research on the TSC1 gene. I found that extremely interesting. I didn't know that before I dug in and did some more research on this for my speech. So I thought that was cool. But epilepsy is such a terrible thing because with each seizure, the brain is attacking itself. It's breaking down. The brain cells are dying with each seizure. Oh my goodness. Like Peyton, as I said before, she can't even talk. She's 7. So most people go completely brain dead, and that's typically where it ends for them, is the seizures kill most of the brain off. Luckily, Peyton is not there yet, and they're still able to look at her and try and figure out what's going on. Although they don't know, they are still able to analyze her brain. So, and one thing is that they're able to look at what parts of the brain that it's affecting. It, for Peyton, is affecting her entire brain, each and every part of it. But some people's, it only affects their frontal lobe, which is right in here behind your forehead. And they have actually had a procedure for this. They can go in and they can remove the part of the brain where the epilepsy is occurring, and then the epilepsy is cured. Although it is so uncommon for people just to have epilepsy in the frontal lobe, it is a cure that they have found, one that works for certain. I actually learned about it in my psychology class that I took first semester. I thought that was completely interesting. It blew my mind. I had never even heard of it, and it was a study done 20 years ago. So, I thought that was really interesting, the frontal lobe surgery. You can look it up if you want. It's really cool. So again, I'm just going to let you know, seizures are just, as this New World Encyclopedia said, are a electrical problem in the brain. So they aren't working together. Like the brain is fighting itself rather than working together. So that's why the body is ultimately breaking down, why things aren't working properly. So, since it attacks the most important part of the body, it's just like a completely detrimental disorder. I don't see why, it's not something taken more seriously in this world. Like I might have said earlier, I didn't even know about epilepsy until my cousin was diagnosed. And now I just can't help myself from wanting to learn more every day that I am alive on this earth. I just want to help her and all those people suffering. Thank you.